just rotten. I'm liable to say it before we leave the air. And I don't mean that kind of dangerous. I feel dangerous, you know, like, oh, put tomato out! That sort of thing, you know. Invariably, I'll get a letter. Hey, Mr. Shepard, I enjoy your program, but if you would only keep your voice at one level, because my husband Charles sleeps during your program and he has to go to work. Where up there, up, come on, just the way it is now. See, we're cleaning out the dead wood, and those of you who are dead wood know that you're dead wood, right? Raise your hands. There we go. Very good. No, I tell you, I do feel a little dangerous tonight. I went to this restaurant. I think there are several ways that we can be reminded of our rottenness. And one of the ways that we can be reminded of our rottenness today, Ed, is creeping the downfall of Romanism. You know, the downfall of Rome. How long has it been since you've been in a really decadent restaurant? I mean the kind of restaurant where you sit there and you just feel fat and greasy by just coming in. You know, you sit down, you can hear tom-toms are going, and naked women are walking around serving people, you know, on big silver trays, and they're bringing in boar's heads, big apples in their mouths, and their eyeballs are popping with pate, you know, flaming battle axes are brought in, and boom, boom, boom. You can hear the sound of tom-toms, and they're, 37 courses, and they're bringing brandy after brandy. They're bringing champagne, caviar, the whole thing, and you're just sitting there, a little fat slob from Hammond, Indiana, sitting there shoveling it in, and somehow pretending that you really are a decadent Roman. You know, you really that no one is more decadent than me. That's terrible when you realize that you're secretly not. Have you ever met a genuine Playboy reader? They're generally the most innocuous, pimply people. You know, it's all in the mind, and they're always embarrassed by what's in the mind. That's even worse. You know, you don't think Ruberosa is ever embarrassed, do you? Even for a minute, you know, not a bit of it. You know? Never thinks there's any other way of life. Actually, boom, you hear the tom-toms booming and the expense accounts wrestling themselves quietly into oblivion over there in the darkness, wrestling to pick up the check. You know, oh, what a feeling. No, friends, seriously, though, we are living in the middle of a dilemma. Most Americans today are not really up to the world that we live in. We all feel a little embarrassed and just slightly guilty. I'm sure that a guy who has driven his car 12 and a half months and is already making noises like we got to get a new one, you know, I'm sure in spite of the fact he's making the noises, there's some little thing that's barking in the background, some little dark little wolf hiding there in the bushes in his mind saying, oop, 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 oop. You know, and he hears the sound of poverty, and he somehow he doesn't enter it with the joie de vivre, you know, the savoir-faire, you know, just walk into it, say, give me a new car, and that's it. It is very hard to be Anna Magnani. It's very difficult, you know, especially when you come from Cleveland. It's very difficult, and a lot of people try it, but it's not quite as easy as that. And things just miss, you know. You go to a restaurant where it's complete decadence, it's absolute decadence, where it is all creature comforts. Yet in America, they don't quite know how to do it. There's always one little cog that slips because we are all American. We're all playing at the game. It's like a lot of kids playing post office. You know, they're all sitting around and they peck at each other's cheeks and they make sounds like, oh, boy, that's your net, wow. You know, they fall down and a little peck on the cheek. Oh, boy, oh, hey, Oracle, oh, Jeanette, oh, my God, oh. Nothing's happened. Not a thing has happened. There's a lot of noise about it, but nothing has happened. Nothing. There are few things more puerile nor more innocent than an American who is out to sin. And oh no, this is a fact. He may think he's a real decadent, rotten sinner, but he's so puerile about it because the first thing he has to do is write about it, which shows automatically he's embarrassed. Anytime I read a writer who goes into great detail about fantastic orgies, I know that he's embarrassed. Let me tell you, Let me tell you, top Romans, when they were involved in orgies, not one of them went home and wrote about it, and it was just a way of life. You know, they don't think about it as they're crying out loud. But it's like this whole country is involved in a gigantic game of post office, and we're afraid we're going to be found out any minute now. You know, that Jeanette, oh boy. Oh yeah. Well, I'm reporting to those of you out there who might not live in the heart of Babylon. You see, this is you'd be surprised for those of you who are New Yorkers and you dig in once in a while here, that we get letters for guys who write from places like Clamshell, Maine, you know, way up there. Guys who write from East Loon Lake or Lone Skeleton, Maine, you know, something way up there. Yeah. Sowing through the spruce trees, and he hears an owl calling once in a while over that long dark part of the lake.
Boom boom, jigga 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 boom boom, jigga boom boom, jigga boom boom, jigga 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 boom boom. Hey everybody, how are you this morning? I'm Jim Dedelow. It never fails, you know. Gets really cold, something bad can happen. So sorry I am 5 minutes and 4 seconds late. Here it is, Thursday, December 4th of 2025. How many days left of this year, huh? Testing, test. Here it is, Thursday, December. There you go, I'm on the air. Just a couple more weeks here at the Purdue Center that has turned into an cybersecurity center, and all the entrepreneurs have been politely asked to leave, and we're on our way out too, so I'm all right with that. I've always wanted to go back to the beautiful confines of 64050 Cot. Now, our sports network, they're not so excited, huh? I made some coffee this morning at 5 o'clock, and the wife buys the expensive stuff. She'll either get it from Just Bee, or she'll send me to get a special coffee from some coffee house, and then she gets mad when I use some of it. So here I am this morning putting together a coffee of like 3 old coffee bags right at the bottom. And I don't know if some of it's stale or not, doesn't really matter, but it's really good. It's like the bottom of, it's like I hate to use this analogy, but back in the 70s, driving around my 67 Nova, all of a sudden I look in the little ashtray there, and there's a roach from like 3 years ago. As Neil Young would say, maybe it's old, but it's good. And that's kind of what finding coffee like that is, you know? It's like, hey, you know what? Get some roach coffee. All right, I'm Jim Dedelow, host of Jed in the Region. Well, the Jim Dedelow Show, sorry. Adriana has kind of changed things around a little bit on us, so I appreciate that. Now, I got here early. I'm a little worried about some pipes in a couple places that I have some real estate, I guess, and time to get the furnace. I got one of 3 furnaces working at one place, and I'm like, that should be enough to keep the pipes, don't you think? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should go over and turn the water off this morning because it's chilly, people. And you are, you know, I got to tell you, I bundled up and I got gotchis on. Yeah, I do. Sorry about that. I put a pair of the long johns underneath the pants, even though I'm indoors most of the time. I'm not one of those people that likes to walk out and feel instantly cold. You know what I mean? The best way is you get a turtleneck on, you wrap all the way head to toe, and then you get all that heat clapped inside of you, and then you wait a little bit. Maybe you go warm your car up a little bit, and then you go out. Does that make sense? Well, that's that kind of day. If you know how to dress and be prepared, all this comes from being a laborer. I'd go to work and it would be like 28 degrees and guys like, why are you all bundled up? Go, you wait. And then that wind would come off the lake and I say, yeah, you gonna make fun of me now, eh, huh? So what's happening? All right. You guys, is that sound all right for you? I guess it is. I don't know what it just sounds a little echoey in my head, but am I on YouTube? Anybody text me? No, I'm not giving my phone number out on it, but some of you guys have it. Text me if I'm on there. All right, let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west. That looks pretty good too. The Bishop Ford and the Randian. That looks good. It's a little bit heavy, but moving. And then the Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. You're all moving along pretty well. There it is. That is really, it's just Roach coffee. And I don't mean like Kevin Roach. It's just Roach coffee. Anyways, let's take a look at what's going on what is our high today? What do you think it is? Well, right now it's 12 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of near Dewporth West. Mostly sunny, very cold. They're saying it's going to get up to 20 in Hammond. It's kind of all over the place in that it just varies. I guess at the lake it's actually warmer now. So mostly sunny, very cold. It'll get up to 20 degrees. What time will that be? Let me look at it, see if I can get a graph here. When it's 11, right? Or it's 12 degrees right now. It'll dip even more, and then it'll start to warm up to, say, 20 degrees right around 1 o'clock right here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. So there you go. Mostly sunny, though, for a good portion of the day. Maybe some little bit of passing clouds. But what a beautiful moon. If you're still outside or you just love the moon, look out to the west. Let me see. West, yes, towards Illinois, and the moon is just beautiful. I don't think it's quite a full moon, but it's close. And in terms of the weather going forward, today is probably your coldest day, a high of 20. Then tomorrow, becoming cloudy, breezy, and cold, a high of 27. Then it gets up to about freezing by Sunday. All right, what do you want to talk about, huh? 219-845-1100. You got something on your mind? Hele, Maraharanyeski? And Papa Maranarana. Me too. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that goes on in the world. I don't even know where to begin. But I think I'll begin by just probably taking a phone call. Hey, you're on the air. What's up?
When are you guys going to move to your old studio?
Pretty soon. Yeah, we got to be out of here by the end of the month. So it's probably going to be kind of a holiday thing, because we're moving along pretty well. Walt, we made a big announcement yesterday. Our sister company, it used to be called the Jed TV Sports Network. It is now the Heartland Sports Network, and we added another conference yesterday. And that added a whole bunch more work. So we added the Greater South Shore Conference. That is the GSSC. We have the NCC, and we have the PCC. So we just added a whole bunch more teams, and I want to say thank you to John Steinhilber and the rest of the people of Greater South Shore Conference for trusting us to bring your high school's games to streaming video on our network.
So do they pay you, or is it all just that paid through advertisement?
So what we did, Walt, is that, we started out as a paid network, and it worked out pretty well. And I think we had 1,500 subscribers right off the bat. And I'm like, wow, you can make money there, and you could also make it from your advertisers. And then I had a few advertisers said, you know what, if it was like radio and you had, more people listening or watching, then you would get more of us. And so one day we just said, let's just make it free and do it like radio and see what happens. So most of it is free. Sometimes we have to charge per the IHSAA on a tournament game or something. But for the most part, we're like the only network kind of growing network that does it for free. The model is that you charge people and then you also sell ads, so you get 2 levels of income. But for whatever reason, there's enough people around here, Powers Health, Tech Credit Union, the carpenters, laborers, Local 7-1 at the BP Union. I mean, everybody stepped forward. So they pay enough that we don't have to charge for the games. And over the weekend, it's kind of gaining momentum. And over the weekend, we sent Peter Krakowski down to Indianapolis to cover Andrain and Maryville. And he, it's not on our network, it's on Facebook. We had 1 million views of our posts. So, as a business guy, I hired a business guy. I hired, Matt Hansen to come in here and look at everything. And he just added everything up, and he's like, "You're an idiot." And I'm like, "All right, why am I an idiot?" He goes, "You're selling this stuff way too cheap." So anybody that's on a long-term contract, good for you, because Hansen's in here, and he's starting to count up all the little impressions, and they're starting to add up, Walt. So anyway,
are you listening? Are you listening to this? Are you listening to this consultant?
All right,
or are you being
like
resentful?
That, okay? Don't be like that, because you know me, and you're like, all right, I know that you hired a consultant, he's come in, he's telling you what to do, and you're probably not listening to him. That's your thought, right?
Just a thought.
Listen, I have made a pledge to listen to him. So the very first thing he walks in the door, and you know what he says? We got to change the name. It's no longer Jed. It's Heartland Sports Network. Do you know how hard that was?
I can imagine.
It's not named after me anymore.
Well, let me just say, for me, the sound of it sounds a whole lot better. More marketing oriented. Jed? What's Jed?
Yeah, I mean, it was just screwing around. Now it's like real business, and I can't make fun of people. And I went to a meeting yesterday for 2 hours, and it's just, but I just kind of rather do what we're doing right now, which me make fun of you and everybody else, and I can't do that as much anymore. So what's on your mind?
You don't want to be the problem with small business. You get really comfortable with a certain niche that, you survive 5 years and your feeling is, it's okay. Somebody comes along and says, you can do a lot better than this, and you can do this, and he's probably just telling you stuff, the standard operating procedure for your kind of operation, and it's tough for the founder to accept that kind of advice from an outsider, even though you're paying for it.
Thanks for giving it excellent context, Walt. As a matter of fact, the state of Indiana has taken an interest in us, and they specifically sent me to a conference where they called it a founders conference, and there were a bunch of people like me. You wouldn't believe how many of the entrepreneurs in Indiana are actually older. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A lot of them left another field. Now they just put all their life savings into some cockamamie idea like I did. But we're sitting there, and the guy lays out this full 45-minute thing about how the person who came up with the idea and started a business and had a vision and everything is usually not the person to run it.
Right.
What do you mean, right?
Well, that was one, as a business professor, that's one of the points I made to my students. We're not here to make you into entrepreneurs. We're here to make you into managers. And entrepreneurs have no problem with taking on high risk and getting stuff off the ground. Our job is to prepare you to be a day-to-day manager, to keep the lights on and not to take on high risk. The most successful managers take middle grade risks, and entrepreneurs they're proud of all the high risks they take, and they're even proud of going bankrupt. I've heard that story from entrepreneurs. I was bankrupted twice, and I came back bigger than ever. How about that?
God, well, you just parroted the leader of the conference, and B, you parroted me.
Well, here's
We've been doing
question.
this a long time. You knew what you were doing. But anyways, that was kind of slap in the face. So I've had to change and start to think in terms of bringing in managers. And we just got one on the marketing side, and Sam kind of was already a manager. He thought I already took outsized risk. You know what I mean? But I think you're right, because it really is a risk return thing. And it's difficult for me to go on every day in business without just like a big bet on, I got to have risk. Otherwise, it gets a little bit mundane to me. And that's not what you want in running an organization. You don't want that person running your organization. You're right.
Nope. Mm-mm. So you're a risk junkie. Is that it?
I can say this, Walt, at various portions of my life, I've been a junkie, but risk is just one of the many, yes. And you know what? I'm not the only one. I mean, the Board of Trade attracts people who are addicted to risk. And then that's why 80% of the guys that I knew are either dead or alcoholics or broke down or, living in an apartment, driving an Uber when they were, making millions, but they just kept being addicted to risk. And then one day the music stopped.
Right.
And they couldn't get anywhere else, so they got it in drugs or alcohol or more risk. And then you have to make that adjustment. But it was everywhere, man. I mean, the more risk, the better. The more times you blew out or lost all your money, the bigger badge of honor it was. And I had it twice.
How about an item for the audience to talk about?
Yeah, no, me and you are just BSing. There it is. Walt, thinking about my business and my audience. All right, go ahead.
This is out of Chicago Tribune, November 17th. Voting by phone gets trial run in Alaskan City. Anchorage, which is the largest city in Alaska, is with a population of about 240,000. They're going to add as an option to going in person and but to allow for people to call in to register their vote. And shortly after this item appeared, all of a sudden, Mr. Newsom in California announced his desire to have phone-in voting. What do you think of that? And what does the audience think about that? Do you think?
I guess on the surface, it looks like a really good way to have fraud, right?
Right.
But if you really think about it, I mean, you could transfer $100,000 from one account to another on your phone, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't. I mean, they make it secure enough with different layers of password protection and firewalls and stuff. People right down the hall from me could do, set that up for you in a couple hours. Why can't we vote on our phone? I mean, you can't make it secure. They can't match up. But here's the problem. Then they'll be able to match up your phone number. I don't know if I like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean,
let's see what the audience says.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Should we be able to vote on their phone? I want to give you another story, Walt, about voting. Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales and Attorney General Todd Rokita, who grew up over here and went to St. Tom's, they had this lawsuit against the federal government in terms of trying to verify Indiana's voters. And it looks like they've settled the lawsuit yesterday. And what happened was that they ultimately found that 21 non-citizens voted in recent elections in Indiana. Mm-hmm. And they're calling it a win, of course. Diego Morales says, this landmark settlement provides Indiana with long overdue tools to protect the integrity of our elections. I am grateful for President Trump's leadership and his administration's commitment to upholding election integrity. Now, the Indy Star says that, and Rokita says the settlement delivers the federal access we're entitled to under law, blah, blah, blah. So the Indy Star says that 0.0007% of voters, that's if all 21 of them voted in the same election, would be basically fraudulent votes. 0.00007. So I don't know, what is that, 7/10,000th of 1% or something like that? What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's worse than that. My impulse. I mean, I grew up in East Chicago. Let's start there. And it was just open knowledge. I mean, they bought and sold votes. And now that, I mean, the idea of the masses of illegal aliens in the country that have come into this country out of control, no vetting, no nothing, and they're pretty clever people. I mean, if they have an incentive to cheat, they do. I mean, they're heavily into stealing people's identity, and so my impulse says, one, I don't like the idea of phone voting, and the second is I think the issue of illegal activity with respect to voting is worse than they've been able to find.
Well, I'll take the first part of your conversation of growing up in East Chicago. Yes, people stuffed ballots and, we didn't, looks like we're going to lose. Let's find another 112 ballots. Oh, look, here they are. They were in so-and-so's trunk, and dump them on the pile, and then you win the election. I mean, how many times did that happen? It was almost impossible to trust an election in East Chicago, especially a close one, right? But in Indiana, here it is, about 3 million Hoosiers voted in the 2024 general election. If all 21 non-citizen votes found by Rokita and Morales took place, it would amount to 0.0007% of the electorate that year. So, I don't know. It just seems kind of minuscule to go and look at all the votes cast and you found 24 bad ones. That's just, I don't know if that's an efficient use of Indiana taxpayer money. Now, the one thing I would like to vote on my phone so I don't have to go anywhere, but they're going to be able to track who you are. And do you want people to know who your vote is? No, not at all, right? At least you go into the one of the election booths and they can't match it up to you. They know that you're voting, but there's no real way to tie it back to you. That's my main concern.
Well, let me offer an anecdote, and that is I was voting this number of years ago, and I noticed that my daughter's name was still on the voting rolls. And she hadn't lived with us for 10 years, and in fact, she was living in Europe at the time. And I said to the administrators there, I said, why is my daughter's name still on the voting rolls? I mean, she has not lived with us for 10 years. She's in Europe. And I got a very tepid response in terms of what could be done about it. I said, this should be taken out because this kind of, the classic case of voter hanky-panky is look for people who are dead, still on the rolls, people who don't live there anymore, and send people in to vote on those names that are no longer valid. And,
so did you make a big stink and then they're like, hey, be quiet?
No, I didn't make a big stink. I simply asked the question. I mean, shouldn't my daughter's names be off the rolls? And they kind of looked at each other. They talked a little bit, and I'm sorry?
You have to re-register every year. I don't. Well, no, you don't have to re-register anymore. I haven't registered to vote in years. I just go, and my name's always there. So how are they going to know that I'm not there anymore?
Well, the methods you can use to purge the voting rolls of those kinds of things, and Democrats always oppose it. You're vote stealing. I mean, you're denying people the right to vote by going through and purging. And I suspect that there's a lot more of that than they're willing to look for.
You're just extrapolating your East Chicago past. Hey, Walt, thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks for the conversation and the free consultation. Talk to you. A la marahara, hera maranara. What's going on? You're on the air.
Well, I tell you what, that voting by phone, boy, that'd work out good in Arizona, wouldn't it?
You got a lot. You would never think, like 20 years ago, that there's way more controversy in Arizona than there is in Indiana. I mean, it seems like you guys are on the TV all the time, man.
We can't even get. I don't think we got our votes in from the last presidential election when Trump lost out here. It is crazy because speculation is one is, they're giving everybody crossing the border from Mexico into Arizona cell phones and they're telling them how to vote. Could you imagine on election day they're down there handing out phones? All right, here's the guy to vote for. He's the one that lets you come into the country. I don't think voting by phone would ever work. But not only that, but it's like, how would you keep track? And it's just, what record would you have to show that person even voted? And how about this? Say you found that old little paper joint in the ashtray, and you just said, I'm going to smoke on an election day. Won't that kind of hamper your thinking and maybe voting the wrong way?
You bring up a good point. With all is weed legal in Arizona?
Yeah, you can walk, you can smoke pot, you can buy edibles. They're probably on every corner. They're like Walgreens on every corner. And don't you kind of want to have that person show up in person? I granted that Arizona has a lot of absentee ballots, but golly, I mean, who's underneath the influence on the telephone? And that's like saying every gamer who's a gamer should be able to vote. If they're playing video games, there should be a way that they can vote when they're playing video games. I mean, there should be a way. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but why can't they just go by a thumbprint, a fingerprint? That way you know who the person is. Okay, if you need financial assistance, let's go by a thumbprint. So we really got a better grip on what's going on. But I would imagine that they'd figure that out to cut thumbs off in Arizona and find a way to vote that way.
All right, Stanek, let me ask you a straight-up question. When you were here in Hammond, and you and my cousin were like the only, two of the most visible Republicans in the city, did you ever pick anybody up to take them to vote?
You know what? I tell you what.
Is that legal? I don't think that's legal, right?
Right, it's not. I mean, you can't get away with that. You can't pull that off.
Gather up a bunch of people at a convalescent home or something and take them to vote. Isn't that what? Remember Bosco Gurkinich? He went on trial for taking 11 people to vote or something like that.
Well, they were going out like they were getting a bus. They're picking up people by the bus loads to go vote. Like, we got to go get people vote now. And the same thing is like, they call people up. That's not as bad. Like, hey, did you register to vote? And there were some instances where, and I don't think it was legal, is where they're going like, hey, if you need a ride to the polls, we'll get you to the polls. It's like, well, no, if you're going to vote, you should find a way to vote. If you want something, you find a way to go and get it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's legal, but I can tell you what, I've never done that. I've never seen it done underneath your cousin. And it was like, hey, we were old fashioned. We door knocked and just asked for votes and found out what you thought and what could we do to change your mind if you were thinking the other way. And there's a lot of times we get some heated conversations on people on the street, and sometimes your cousin would take the blame for things that he was never responsible for. But he always found a way to delicately talk around it, and somewhat with the background of us people that walk with him, kind of get him to look at things a different way. And that's what it's really about. Look at both sides of things. There's both sides. Truth is like a divorce. His side, her side, and then the truth. So there's three sides to everything, and sometimes you have to really weigh what you think would be the best.
He's Steve Stanek, the philosopher from Arizona.
Hey, how'd you like that update I gave you on the motorcycle wreck? Come to find out, I want to clarify that was like gang motorcycle rivals. That's what that whole thing started with. That guy shooting a motorcyclist, walking away from where he shot him, and then his partner, that was a chase car, happened to see it and runs the guy over. And I kind of figured, I got a buddy of mine who's a retired fireman from Milwaukee, Jeffrey Dahmer's neighbor. He's got some great stories. And we were kind of talking, so how do you know about this motorcycle thing? He goes, well, I'm the vice president of the Axemen. So I said, okay, so what's the difference between that? He goes, no, they were a gang. There's a motorcycle gang and a motorcycle club. He goes, in Arizona, in order for them to be accepted in a motorcycle club, you know who has to give them the A-OK? You're not going to believe this. The Hells Angels. That's who runs every motorcycle club out here in this part of the country. And I guess if you're in the Midwest, it's the Outlaws. But they have to okay you to have the Arizona Motorcycle Club patch. I thought, wow. I go, that's kind of like a political organization. He said, oh, it goes deep. So that's a little food for thought.
He's Steve Stanek clarifying, because we talked about this this case of where I think two motorcyclists came up to a stoplight and one shot the other, and then the next car ran over the shooter. And we're like, gosh, what about road rage, this and that? And thank you for sending the article. I saw that. And it turns out that it was gang related, which a lot of really vicious crimes are. So thanks for clarifying that. But Steve, in all transparency here, I'm the only one here, and I have to go to the bathroom. So I would love to talk to you. I'll be here again Tuesday, okay?
I'll call him, buddy. Have a great weekend.
All right, man. See ya. I'll be right back on a Voice and Face of the Region. Zippy kitty kitty coop papa. La-ta-ta-dum-pum-pum. Yes, only love can break your heart. I should have known right from the start. Yes, only love can break your heart. I should have known right from the start. I have a friend I've never seen. He hides his head inside of a dream. Someone should call him and see if he should come out. Try to lose the down that he's found. Yes, only love can break your heart. I should have known right from the start. Yes, only love. There's plenty to go around that you guys we should be talking about, but all you guys want to do is screw around, and I'm tired of it. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford up the gut of the Southland is bad at the merch. I go to college, and I shop at Jewel's like once every 4 months. And the Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65 are all moving along well. But it's cold. It's cold right now. It's 11 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. It is 9 degrees at Ironworkers Local 695, where Ronnie Lame Duck Ware is going to be for 6 more months. Then it is 10 degrees at Laborers Local 41, where Kevin, let me think of something for him. By the way, I went to the Pirates Voyage, was it 2 weeks ago, or I don't know, a week and a half ago, and I took a picture with 2 of my old buddies, Ronnie Lame Duck Ware, and Kevin Roach. Now, you got to be a little careful about Kevin Roach of the 41 because, maybe Ware I know could take it. Let's see. I think Roach could take it. Maybe 10 years ago he couldn't. Now he just kind of laughs at things, and unless you bring up one specific company, and then you better have about a half hour to hear some of the details of his Discord. But anyways, at Kevin Roach's Laborers 41 in Munster, it is 10 degrees. It's 11 degrees here at Purdue. And it goes up to 20 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios, but that's it, and that should happen about 1. But the sun will come out. Becoming cloudy, breezy, and cold tomorrow, and a high of 27. Saturday, low clouds and chilly, and a high of 30. I don't know. I mean, you want me to go through a bunch of, news? I could, but I could just talk to you guys. Hey, how are you? What's going on?
Dead air.
Right now?
No, a few minutes you said you had to go to the restroom. I say, now, I got to talk to Dr. William about that dead air thing because he's dead on that.
So wait a second.
I'm messing with you, Jed.
It wasn't dead air on the radio. It was just...
Yeah.
It was?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was dead. You said you had to go to the restroom, and all of a sudden it went off. Everything went off.
No, waiting on hold
may have been off on my phone.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on my phone.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm on the phone. So the people on YouTube and you and anybody waiting, they didn't get anything for the next 2.5 weeks. But everybody on the radio heard a bunch of spots. So, anyways.
Okay. Now, I had a long conversation with Dr. Williams yesterday. Basically, I went in to cut some Christmas greetings. He basically have a lot of people calling in, wishing everybody a Merry Christmas on behalf of your family to the community. And so he do that every year. Ron, are you going to come in this time and do it? I said, you got it already from last year. Just play it again. So he has quite a few of those. But anyway, let me just go a little bit further here. You're talking about the voting and people fraud and stuff like that. I think that's a bunch of bunk. And I think having Michelle Feynman on there from the election board would really tell. Now, let me tell you, I've been a precinct committeeman for off and on for 25 years, I guess, because I'd taken Earlene Rogers' husband precinct because he got sick, and then I moved from Millen, then I moved on the west side, and I didn't really want to be it anymore, but I thought it was necessary for me to do that, to be involved. And I don't see a lot of fraud there. The election of Donald Trump, people still saying today that Donald Trump was stolen. That's a lie. That's a lie, and it caused a whole lot of problems too, trying to overthrow the government. By he knew it. Right now, Donald Trump wants to be the top vote. You know who got more votes than anybody presidential election? You know who that person was? You wouldn't believe it, and I didn't believe it till I pulled it up. Joe Biden got more. He got something like 80 million people who voted for him, the highest of anybody, Republican or Democrat in America. Joe Biden. Are you aware of that? You're probably aware of that already, I'm sure.
More people voted in that election, and
he got more votes. He got more votes than any presidential candidate. And Donald Trump always say that I got more votes. It's like, who cares? You win, it doesn't matter. Don't be like a kid. So I just have faith in right now that the election thing, way they do that, Jed. You said you on there every year. They haven't had to go. And in other words, if nobody has voted in maybe 10 years, I think it's over 5. Let's put it that way. And it'd be good to have Michelle come on there one time and just break it down. But if they see an absent, like the gentleman just called, and he said, that in Arizona, what they're saying, what they're doing, and stuff like that, and voting by phone and all that kind of stuff, that's crazy, But when they see an absent, and the person could be dead, so if they ain't voted in 5 years, then you can be purged. They purge those people. I do know that. I'm speaking from self-experience. They purge them. And a lot of time I've seen people on there, and I say, I'm a precinct committeeman. I got about 1,500 people in my precinct, very large precinct. And I look, and a lot of time what I'll do, I say, well, I know that person don't reside in that house anymore, because you usually got it based on your address, And if there's a boy there haven't voted, then that can be a problem. And so I just think that right now people are talking about stealing votes and all that. What about the person called to Georgia? Can you find me 10,000 votes?
So I'm glad you called. I'm glad you called, Malak.
Well, don't disagree with me.
Listen, I'm speaking of votes. Okay, I want to bring this one up, and I was going to bring it up anyways. I'll do it with you. So they're going through this redistricting thing, right?
Oh my God, yes.
It's really kind of ridiculous that we would just be Lake County and then a little stretch of land all the way to southeast of Fort Wayne. I guess it'd be southwest of Fort Wayne, and it would be Wabash County. I've been to Wabash for a baseball game, and you can't get it's forever. It's like it's almost Ohio. So we would have this little swath, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, God, how are they getting away with that legally? And now listen, it's very well thought out, and you really have to go through these things. Right? So I read some of the testimony that people were doing, and all the people kept going up there saying, well, this is being done for political reasons. This is being done for political reasons. And then they're like, well, why do they keep saying that? It doesn't help their cause. Well, the Indy Star on the front page of their paper today explains why. Because the federal courts cannot police political gerrymandering. Like if you're just doing it for politics, in a 2018 Supreme Court case, you could do it for politics. But a lawsuit, if you challenged the redistricting, it wouldn't go anywhere. But a lawsuit based on racial gerrymandering could definitely go somewhere. So they have to say it and only say politics. You can't say any other reason. No racial, no ethnic, no,
you
even,
can't say
not
that.
even
Okay.
location. Oh, well, we
Oh
don't like
my
people
God.
in the region. You can't say anything, otherwise you'll get sued. You can only say that it's done for politics. And I was like, God,
Well,
why are they saying that? And there it is. There it is. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think right now with this redistricting thing, and I think it's terrible. And some Republicans are really catching hell because they don't want to support it. And I applaud those individuals for that. You know, it's they don't want to do that. But right now, the president has gotten in touch with the governor, and I understand the governor they've been attacking the governor, also Indiana, and basically what he's saying that let the people decide. And right now, Frank, they going as Frank. You got 7 congressional districts. And my understanding, knowing this stuff like I do, that there's every redistricting, it goes along with the census. Okay, every 10 years. Am I right or wrong? Correct me. I know you say sometimes I don't agree with. I don't.
They do it the year after the census, so 2021.
Right. I know you said the other day. I don't always agree with Matt. Like, well, you don't always have to agree with me, but but so I'm just simply saying that right now the thing, and I think right now it's terrible. But I believe that a candidate running like Frank Moran, he has a very good message that resonates with the voters. And I believe that even if however far they go, which is terrible, it makes him work just a little bit harder. And he will. I think he will win in any case. He is.
No. The numbers are well against him. If you just start taking a swath of southern Porter County and you run that line directly to Wabash, Indiana, which is like a bunch of counties over, it does not bode well for him. Matlock, since it's just you and me, nobody's listening. Verley was in here, and she brought something up that I didn't quite understand. I'm like, well, why is Carol, what's her name, Green? Green?
Jennifer Ruth Green.
Jennifer Ruth Green. And I'm like, why is, there's an article about her wanting to run for this. And then Verley's like, well, think about it. You could theoretically get Jennifer Ruth Green to run here, get maybe a number of black conservatives and other people that might support her, and then kind of erase the Lake County vote of Randy Niemeyer out, and then you could wind up with Lake County being represented in Congress by a Republican from Wabash, Indiana. And I'm like, God, what a beautiful thing. You could basically erase Lake County even as a Republican if you handled it right. And I'm like, man, some people are really smart.
Oh, you're
what are you saying? Are you eating an apple or something or what?
Yeah. I just think that right now, first of all, Jennifer Ruth Green will not be the candidate. I believe that they have either Randy Niemeyer, there's a commissioner lady running from some other parts of the thing. Because Jennifer Ruth, she got caught up in the state thing. She was a member of Braun's committee. Team of people in his office, in the governor's office. So I don't know what position she held, but apparently she was using campaign, and I just happen to believe that Jennifer Ruth Green was kind of used before. Her thing was to come in there, if they could come into Gary and get half of Gary, like that, and that would kind of hurt. People would want to go against her because of pigmentation of her skin. And I said, well, people in Gary don't vote like that. I'm telling you, they don't vote that way. I don't believe they do. One reason why I say I don't believe they do, we had Scott King. He was the mayor of a predominantly black city. He won. Apparently, people like what he was saying, and I just think people are not like that. And we did not. Jennifer Ruth Green, I wouldn't give her the time of day, and she'll be probably running again. I think.
But why? I mean,
literally, why would she want to run again?
I'm like, really, she can't. I mean, especially now that it has included much of central Indiana, she has almost zero chance of winning. Why would she run? And then you think about it, if you are downstate and you really just hate Lake County and you don't want Lake County to have any power, then you don't want a Lake County Republican. You would rather have a Republican from Wabash. So if you run somebody that could erase Randy Niemeyer, who, whether you like, are Democrat or Republican, he's from Lake County and he's going to represent us. It's just too beautiful the way it's thought out. That's all I'm saying, Matlock. It's way above your pay grade and my pay grade.
Well, maybe they might put Curtis Hill in there running if it expands in.
No, he's not in the district. Now, there's a question. Have they? What? Yeah, what's going to happen?
He's a big supporter. He's a big supporter of Donald Trump, and if he doesn't get there, they might take him to Washington. Who knows?
Hey,
so, man, like you putting a lot into this.
No, well, here's the thing, man. Like you and I talk, and Walton, I talk, and this job I've been doing since I was the mid '80s, off and on, right? So when I've got something that's really juicy, I like to say, hey, let's talk about it. I mean, think about it. Mitch Daniels came out and said, don't do this, that this is going to anger voters here in Indiana, and it's not right. He said, do the right thing because it's the right thing. And I thought, well, gosh, if Mitch Daniels is saying it, people are going to listen to him. Hell no, man. It seems like the Trump-Braun thing is kind of taking over. The Mitch Daniels conservative has really been pushed to the back burner here in Indiana.
Well, I had an opportunity to talk to Mitch Daniels when I was on the Calumet Township trustee board. And he was at the time trying to get rid of, he said that Gary is using my computer corruption and stuff like that. And they want to really, the township thing is 1,008 townships in the state of Indiana, which is too many. We have probably 6 townships right here in Lake County. North Township, Calumet Township, and Hobart Township, and all those things. And why can't you have just a centrally located, or maybe the biggest city, and they have a trustee and a board member from that area? So, but again, reason that Mitch Daniels didn't want to do that because the majority of township people are in other areas. And Michelle, if you're listening, you could call in Jed. Jed might not believe Matlock, and some of the other people don't believe Matlock. And I know they don't agree with him, and that's irrelevant. I don't care about what they I'm just saying, give you some facts, knowing what's happening. And so they say, well, no, we can't do that because the majority of the people township trustees are Republicans, and that's true in the state of Indiana. So they didn't want to get rid of. That's one reason why they did. Only thing that happened with Calumet Township, they went to North Township when we lost Griffith, and you know that.
Yeah, that's water under the bridge. All right, Ron, I got to move on. I got a bunch of other people. Thank you. I love talking to you.
You too. Even though I don't agree with y'all, Dan.
Of course not. Talk to you. Bye. Hala maranara shmafa kala charapafa.
Jimmy the pimp. What you doing, brother? Hey,
are we that kind of friends that you're going to address me that way? Like, hey, Jimmy, how you been, man? Is that we that kind of friend?
Probably not, but who cares, man? It's radio.
Exactly. All right, I just want to make sure because I missed that memo because
you probably missed a lot of memos, bro.
Yeah, I just
never touch gummies before noon, and that doesn't stop you yet. So,
can we talk about gummies? Hey, I'm going to be very clear on this.
Listen, there's high school kids and grade school kids.
I don't take
listening.
gummies
Stop.
in any form or manner, just so everybody that's listening know that. Okay.
Do you think anybody believes that? Are you insane? Nobody believes you, dude. Are you kidding me?
You've met a lot of Board of Trade guys. I am your typical fried Board of Trade guy that lived stress for 18 straight years, and it kind of fried some of my circuitry. So that's why I probably, that's why I have to go to the bathroom and I forget to put music on. Anyways, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Hey, and your signal was bad, and you were going off the air a lot, too, this morning.
Yeah,
I'm listening
now,
on the radio.
Right? It's just the
You've been
cold.
okay for about 4 or 5 minutes.
You know what? It's just the cold, man. There's nothing I can do, and it only lasts about 2.5 more weeks till we move.
The cold. It's the cold. It's the leaves. It's the rain.
All right, you know what?
Wind.
Do you have something on your mind?
Yeah, I do, man.
Well,
hey, you know that guy who? Well, you keep talking. You know that guy who lived next to Dahmer who had the good stories.
What was that about?
You know what else? You know what else he had? Good recipes and leftovers.
Oh God! Why would you make that stupid joke? If I was over by the phones instead over here cleaning stuff up, I would hang up on you. But do you have another? Other than
if the queen had a set, she'd be the king, and that ain't the case either. Yeah, I wanted to ask you. Hey, so with this new network or this new conference of whoever you got, is you going to be looking for more announcers? Like, is there a chance you bring Kuziak back, or and Drain dropped the golden hammer on that one, saying never again, huh?
Do you have another question? By the way, I do want to.
There's another question. I got another question.
I'm very. I don't have that much to do with it, but Sam and the guys came out with an announcement yesterday. They added another conference, a Greater South Shore Conference, and they're very. Took them a long time. Hold on, I'm talking. Took them a long time to get it done. There's some great storied teams in the GSSC. So you're just going to see games upon games here that are going to be streamed even more in the Calumet region. And
who's in that conference?
What's that?
Who's in that conference?
Well, I know Griffith and Bishop Knoll, right?
That's who it is. Okay.
Yeah, that conference. And I don't want to be out of turn. I think I know all the teams, but let me see if I got them right. All right, I know Westside does some stuff there. So, all right, it's Calumet for sure. Hammond, Knoll. Now, Ileana Christian, I think, is there for one more year, but then they go to the NCC. Lake Station's in it. Griffith. Boone Grove is in the Porter County Conference for most stuff, but I think they play football in the GSSC. Wheeler, River Forest. I think that's it.
Who's in the NCC? Is that Munster?
Let's see. Is there anybody else in? Oh, Whiting. Yeah, Whiting. So, say that again. NCC is Munster, Highland, Hobart, Hanover, Ileana's Coming, and KV and Lowell. So we do that one, and then we do the Porter County Conference, which is like South Central, and I don't want to miss anybody, so let me type it up.
Don't worry. We don't care.
No, well, I think there are people that want to know that. Like, gosh, you got 3 conferences now. Who are they? It's Boone, but Boone doesn't I think Boone plays football in the GSSC. Hebron, Couts, Morgan.
It's like you got everybody in the region, right? Basically?
South Central, Washington, Westville. It used to be La Crosse. I think it's Tri-Township now. But all of those people are now streamed on the Heartland Sports Network. Hey, are you surprised that when I hired the consultant, the first thing he said when he walks through the door, he goes, "You hired me? Now here's what we're doing. We're changing the name." No one. He's like, "We're not naming it after Jed." So it is what it is.
Who knows, bro?
Are you surprised?
Who knows? I mean, I couldn't. Honestly, I couldn't care less. Okay. You call it the Neil Young. We nicknamed it the Neil Young Harvest Moon Network.
You know, I never thought of that. The Harvest Moon Network instead of the Heartland Network. You know what?
Right,
You're not as dumb as you sound. You know what I mean? But anyways,
brilliant, dude.
Go ahead. Do you have something on your mind?
Yeah, your boy Dabberton's having I think Kuziak's a guest on his show next week too. That's going to be a beauty. is having Mott Hanley and Kuziak as guests next Wednesday. That's going to be a doozy. Where's the girls at today?
Kuziak will be back. We are making some
please
changes
don't,
to our timing
don't
of when the shows are. I mean, Kuziak is, outside of me and Verley, he's the next best talented person here, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, that's what I think, sure. Good Lord.
All right, well, you don't really have anything to add today, do you?
Yeah, hey, if Gavin Newsom says anything, you want to go the other way. Do you see now up in Minnesota, they're estimating now that they've lost over $2 billion each year to the Somalis up there. You ever been up there, Jimmy, in that area?
I mean,
twice.
What kind of people?
Area?
What other kind of people are garbage in your mind? Not just Somalis. There's got to be other people, right? It can't just be Somali garbage.
Gang members, drug users.
No, but I mean, which ethnicity or race or country of origin? Any other ones that are garbage? Just Somalis.
No, I don't go by country or ethnicity. What do I care? I go by quality of people.
The president called people from Somali are garbage. And so I just wondered, I'm like, well, there's got to be other people that, you might think are garbage. So do you have any others?
I liked what one guy said about bringing people in from other countries. He goes, if a country doesn't have running plumbing, hard cop plumbing somewhere in their country, we can't take them in because they're like Cro-Magnon men. So what are we going to do with them?
It's the toilet.
They're supposed to come here.
It's the toilet
to help
requirement.
Our country.
Now, hold on a second. Are you going to be the person that goes around and checks toilets?
In third world countries, yeah, you can just do it on Google.
All right, so you're going to ask Google, hey, who has a toilet and who doesn't? And then if they don't have toilets, they get up to Ellis Island and they go, all right, hold on. We got to ask AI. Does your country have running toilets? And
do you have running water?
If AI says not a lot of them, then you say, well, you can't come in until you get a toilet.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.
Yeah, you got to have at least shingles over
you got to have
shelter, right?
So it's the toilet requirement.
Running water, shingles, and working plumbing.
Okay, so then we got to count shingles too. Now, how are we going to do that?
We don't need to count them. We just have to look.
So
if you're living in a hut,
so you kind of know intuitively what kind of people are garbage and what aren't. So,
hey, have you ever been to the Walmart over on Torrance Avenue in Lansing?
Yes.
Okay. So would you send your wife or grandkids there past like 5 o'clock at night? Hell no.
Okay. Why? All right. Well, that's a question to me, and I'm trying to get it where you state your opinion rather than kind of go around it. So what is your opinion of going to that Walmart? Are there people there that don't have running toilets, so they're garbage?
It's one of the most dangerous and loss-leading Walmarts in the country. And that's according to Walmart.
Okay. Now, and so what does that have to do with running toilets in and around Somalia?
That Walmart in Lansing makes the ones up in West Minneapolis.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, I'll tell you if you stop cutting me off.
We're talking about people who are garbage, and certainly Somalis are considered garbage.
That Walmart there makes the one up in Somaliland in eastern Minneapolis look like Briar Ridge.
So is there more garbage here?
Oh, dude. No.
I mean, where is more garbage people? In Minnesota or on Torrance in Lansing?
Oh, way up in Somaliland, up in Minnesota, bro. Like I said, if you ever been there, you'd go and you turn around and come back. If you like what your wife said to you one time when you told her, "Oh yeah, I took the kids to the basketball game at Westside," and she goes, "What did you do?" She goes, "Don't ever take my daughters there again." Remember you told me
that's not how that went, but it's good. It's good theater. Hey, how's my voice showing up on this new microphone? It's pretty good. Thank you. All right.
You sound good so far, bro.
I just switched headsets.
Stay on the air, Jimmy. I gotta go.
All right, garbage. We're talking about garbage people today. All right, can you bring that up? I now have a producer, and her name is Adriana. I'm in finals, Alvarez. And I want to find the garbage comment because I wonder what the metrics is for garbage. Was it garbage people, or are there a bunch of garbage? Or anyways, let's take another a phone call. Hey, what's on your mind?
Well, I do want to talk about garbage people. Hold on. In Minnesota. But first, because I've been up there 52 times. But first of all, I want to talk about you, my hero. Okay. You were eating that bagel, and you had a piece of bagel on your mustache, right? And then I watched you go to the washroom. You said you were going to the washroom, and you came back with that piece of bagel on your mustache. So what that?
You wouldn't? You text me 3 times a day with about one thing or another, but you're not going to text me that I have bagel on my mustache? There's nobody else here. All you got to do is text me.
But the thing of it is, everybody that goes to the washroom goes to the mirror and washes their hands and looks in the mirror. That's telling me you don't wash your hands when you're done. Because if you would have washed your hands and looked in the mirror like a normal person, you would have spotted that bagel and took it off instead of sit down.
Well, here's the thing. So I'm a little crushed for time when I do that. So I went to the washroom, and I have this canister of hand wipes that are right next to you. You could see them in the back of the thing. And I just used one of those. So technically, you're right. I used a hand wipe. I did not wash my hands in the washroom. I used a sanitary napkin or whatever.
Yeah, just like when they catch a criminal, it wasn't me. But anyways, I'm just warning all the producers. I hope they're listening to this. And maybe you want to wash that keyboard off in the washing machine before you use it.
I mean, literally, these things are way better than washing your hands. But listen, I got a question for you. All right, so you go to the bathroom in a public place, right? And I'm older, so I get in there, and it takes me a little while. I'm standing at the urinal, and a lot of times someone will come in near the same time, and then they'll leave. It might even be 2 people that will come in and leave while I'm still peeing, right? And invariably, there is a certain type of man that will come up to that other urinal, kind of make it quick, and then just walk out without washing his hands. And it's usually someone who's like from 20 to 35 years old, usually facial hair, and they just walk in, go to the bathroom, and then they walk out. Now, that is good reasoning for not always wanting to shake people's hands. You know what I mean?
That's why Trump don't shake hands. Now, you truthfully look up in the air, and you know what I'm talking about, and tell everybody that you don't wash your hands, you just leave, okay?
I always wash my hands. That's why it takes so long. But I found that it took a little bit too long when I go to the washroom to sit there and scrub my hands and then go over to the hand dryer and all that. So we put these wipes on the desk here.
Could you wipe the bagel off, Ted? Could we just at the one point?
All right. Hey,
call,
you know what? Neither you or Mad Mac have anything to add to the show this morning, so we're going to move on. Hey, listen, all I'm telling you is that if you see a piece of bagel on my lip or my nobody's here, and I'm on camera, you text me the most egregious stuff all day long, which someone's very funny, believe me. You can't text me that one thing. Jed, you got a piece of bagel. Or how about this? What if I'm, like 1 out of 30 times I come out of the washroom and I don't zip my fly correctly, right? You would never text me and tell me that, or you would just laugh on air?
No, I just leave it there so everybody could see. But I do got to say something about Minnesota.
Somalis are garbage. Is that what you're going to say?
I don't know who's who, but I've been up there 52 times fishing, right? And I first went up there in 82, and I swore to myself I'll never go back in 2018. Now, the resort owner, he passed, and he told me, Perry, he didn't call me MX. He says, Perry, I want you out of the woods at 12:30 in the forest. Then he tells me, I don't want you going up into the forest anymore. And I think now that, he was a really good guy, God bless him. I think what he was talking about, pretty close to Minnesota, going through it, I'd be stopping at these gas stations, and they started changing. And right around 2016, I got out. I looked around, and I slithered back into my truck and left. So now, it has changed. I can't say if it's Somalis. I'm not blaming it on anybody, but I hear that there's a mass deportation of a lot of people, and especially in Venezuela. Trump is winning again. Maduro said he will take back the criminals that he sent here. So, but I really mean it, Jed.
What do you mean Trump is winning again? Why? Was he losing? I missed that.
Well, everybody had him behind the 8 ball, but you know what? I never got tired of winning, and I go to fill up my gas, and I'm winning there. But
so wait a second. So you think that Trump was on the ropes or something? The only thing all this, all this stuff that's out there, I mean, it's just all kind of noise, and it's really kind of interesting and entertaining, right? But there's one thing that I don't think that, I mean, even this redistricting where Trump told Braun he had to get it done, and they're going to build this like banana all the way down to Wabash here, and as Weezer said, it's going to happen. But there's one thing that's an outlier, and I think it's difficult to get around as a conservative Republican, whatever you're MAGA or not, is the Epstein thing. When that comes out, if he's in there in compromising ways, that becomes a really problem. Now, if he's not in there in a compromising situation, then I think that there isn't any really thing that'll stop him.
I know we go back to Trump is bad, but I would like to, me and my buddy McDermott are tight, and he was talking about why Braun doesn't want to take his phone calls. You know what I'm saying? I think it's because you called cops clowns. That might have something to do with it. But I did spend a lot of money on you for Christmas, and I hope you're happy with it. But this Minnesota thing...
Wait a second. We got to stop that. We're done. I got to move to another phone call. But you bought me a gift?
I bought you two.
Does any of them have are any of them like flannel gotchis that I could wear under my jeans? Because it's really cold out. If they are, then bring them early, will you?
I'll give you a hint.
All right.
And then I'll hang up. I got the hint from Kuziak. Are you here to hijack my show? And you can't grow a beard that long, and it's already in a nice little frame picture.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
Hey, we can't take anymore. We got to take a break. Per Adriana Alvarez, what are you eating? Adriana, you're not supposed to eat on the air. That's specifically prohibited.
My mic's off. My mic's off.
You're specifically. I can't even say it. It's specifically prohibited here at WJOB that nobody is supposed to eat here. Okay, just so you know.
We can't eat. We're supposed to starve.
Is my the rest of my bagel sitting over there still, or did I eat the whole thing?
You ate it.
All right, I ate.
Usually, I do see a bagel, but no.
Hey, are you in finals right now?
Technically, yes.
Is it start Monday or is it this week?
It is the 15th.
Yeah, so it's next week.
Yeah,
it's
sometime next week. But I don't have like in-person exams, so they're all just like keeping up with the assignments. I have like maybe 3 more things to do, and then I'm done.
So I spent 3.5 hours yesterday helping to. I don't think I'm giving the grade, but I gave input to, I think, maybe 8 different teams of like 4 or 5 people that presented marketing proposals.
Oh, no.
To
You see mine.
Now, you were not in that class. It was
for the digital marketing competition?
No, it was I forget, it was like marketing proposals.
Oh,
or
no,
whatever.
I was not in that class.
It's like the class you take before you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pretty good. But I found myself, you kept hearing the same thing over and over. They gave them $350,000, and they had to come up with a marketing buy. The first group was Museum of Science and Industry, and the second one was Field Museum. I think 4 and 4, and man, they were amazing. But I found myself getting my phone out and checking all of their math on their.
Was it wrong?
And there were a couple ones. I'm like one of them was, I'll just say it. One of them was that they had a CPM for radio of 32 cents, and the cost per thousand for any radio in America can't be 32 cents, or they would go broke. So it was like, all right, I don't mean to tell you this, but the cost per thousand's anywhere from 15 to 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they just had the decimal should go over twice and little stuff like that. But man, did I enjoy it. And then you could see, you've done this, and you're a student, and then there's me, the owner of, this media. There's Hanson, who is the digital marketing person, and then Narissa. She is the social media coordinator at P&W, and she's had some other marketing jobs. So
I actually did one for them for P&W.
For that board? Or with Narissa?
Yes. I think it was Narissa that I helped P&W with a commercial, and it's like a 3-minute commercial basically saying like how university is so great and all this stuff. Please give us money. Yeah. That's how I look at college commercials when they do them. It's so funny because that's like it's to appeal to their donors and to potential students. So I did a commercial with them, but it was while I was having this horrible cold. So I was like, okay, guys, I took all my medicine. I hit all the cough drops. I'm like, you guys got 20 good minutes out of me. Let's go. One take. Let's, like how Sam says, one take.
Oh, you were the star of the show.
Me and 2 other students did it. We read a script, and then they're going to take certain clips from us. So everybody's going to be reading the same thing. You're just going to hear different people's inputs, and then, of course, videos and pictures are going to go over that. And I believe at the very end, the chancellor says, like, the last few lines.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. It should be out in March.
So, that's good. It'll be another addition to your resume that you could put on your resume so somebody could hire you away from me. So I have to – I get over there, and I'm like, I finally order lunch, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm talking to students. And I run into 2 very prominent business professors that I know pretty well. One is Dr. Pat Obie. Have you ever taken a class from Dr. Pat Obie?
I have not.
Yeah, he's a finance guy, and he's a very difficult grader. I took his class, and I'm like, why am I at the age of 59 sitting here up all night long trying to find out the answer to some specific population problem? And then I did not realize that Spiros Batistatos was a full-time professor, and I stopped in his office for half hour, 45 minutes, and looked at. He's got so many really cool things on the walls of his past and illustrious past. But I can't tell you how cool it was to be around students trying their hardest. I mean, they had to come in dressed in business attire. Do you know what that's like on that campus? You look like you had gotten in trouble and you got to go in front of the dean or something when you're all that dressed up. And you could tell some of them were not comfortable at all being that dressed up.
It's kind of funny when I do presentations and they ask us to dress up. I'm just like, okay, I'm down, whatever. Like this is just like every day. And then there's some kids that they can't. You can tell, like they're just standing there so stiff.
This one dude came in, and you think my hair's bad or kind of wild. He comes in, his hair's all wild. He's got facial hair. He really knew the marketing. You know, from I checked his math, and it was good. And but I'm like, God, he can't wait to take this suit coat off, man. Anyways, I'm Jim Dedelow, and I will take your phone calls, and Adriana and I will actually do some news and play some news.
Are we taking a break?
You are taking a break, so you need to put some really bad elevator music on.
No, I found Christmas music that's on copyright because it's December. So we're
all right,
listening
here it is. We'll be right back on the voice and face of the region. Hey, everybody. AM 1230, WJOB. How's my voice look on the LED meter?
Looks fine.
Is it good? Testing, test. Hello, everybody. AM 1230, WJOB. 104.7 FM. And let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford up the gut of the Southland is bad on the right at the backside of the Steel Bridge, and then pretty much off and on all the way to downtown Jane Byrne interchange. So, just get used to it. I don't know. The rest of Chicagoland is really pretty good. And then you have the Dan Ryan, which is probably the one road that you're heading to. And it's like, hey, dude, sorry about that. But the Skyway Toll Road look really good. So does the Borman and I-65. And with weather is Adriana Alvarez.
Currently, right now, at the Shrike and Van Til Studios, it is a warm 11 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 20 degrees and lows of 8 degrees. Sunny and very cold for the rest of the day. Taking a look at the rest into the weekend. We warm up just a little bit. Highs of 27 on Friday, lows of 25. Cold with increasingly clouds, partly cloudy with some flurries. Saturday, highs of 31 degrees, lows of 20 degrees. We're going to see low clouds and chilly weather. And then on Sunday, just to wrap up your weekend, highs of 29, lows of 16. Snow or flurries are possible during that day with a 30% chance.
And let us talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on in the region. Let's start here at home first. The Heartland Sports Network announces partnership with the Greater South Shore Conference. Heartland Sports Network is proud to announce a new multi-year partnership with the Greater South Shore Conference. The agreement marks the network's third Northwest Indiana Conference partnership and the first secured since the company's rebrand from JED TV Sports Network to Heartland Sports Network earlier this fall. The GSC includes 9 member schools across Lake and Porter County. Now, Calumet, Hammond, Bishop Knoll, Ileana Christian, Lake Station, River Forest, Wheeler, Boone Grove, Griffith, and Whiting. Now, I think Boone Grove's like football only, and some don't have all sports. But Heartland Sports Network already has individual broadcast agreements in place with Griffith, Ileana Christian, and Boone Grove. This new conference-wide deal brings full coverage under one umbrella, expanding the reach and the consistency of broadcasts for all GSSC sports, starting immediately. Adriana, you've seen these guys hard at work. My guess is they got this deal done yesterday, and they put out the press release. And do you think we'll see them today? The
Maybe.
Sports guys?
Maybe.
You think so? I think they're like, dude, I finally just took kind of a while, and let's let me take a break here. So
we might. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we did, if we didn't. But that's an amazing accomplishment. They good job on their end, and I can't wait to see them at some games. Yeah, and they'll be at your Bishop Knoll games now, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see if I see them on Saturday.
Who do you play on Saturday? You don't know, do you?
I just know where to be.
All right.
Where to be at. Let me see here.
I would like to give a huge thanks or a huge congratulations to some people who signed yesterday. And I will do that as soon as I'm able to get into the Times website here. And that would be Novak was one of them. And I know that. And Trevor Gibbs also signed. So Andreans, Ben Novak, and Crown Point's Trevor Gibbs celebrated their IU signing together yesterday. I think that's on Andrew's 219 News Now. Andrean's 6'7", 300-pound offensive lineman signed with IU, and he was flanked by his entire family and 59er teammates and coaches who have become a second family. Novak took an exhale before recounting just how wild the last few weeks have been. Obviously, they won the state title. And there's Novak with his parents signing to go to Indiana. Now, Kurt Signetti, the second-year coach of the number 2 ranked Hoosiers, wanted Novak to commit on the spot during a recent visit, although Novak wasn't ready to make that decision during his time in Bloomington. After further consultation with family, he made his commitment change public the next week. He had originally said he was going to Wisconsin, and he flipped to his home state of IU. That would not have happened years ago, pre-Kurt Signetti. Now, another one. Trevor Gibbs, Crown Point's star tight end and linebacker, who will be joining Novak in Bloomington in coming weeks. Now, evidently, they're going to be roommates, too, Novak and Gibbs. And, gosh, that's Andrean and Crown Point guy that are going to be. Andreans, Novak, and Crown Point's Gibbs are going to room together. I want to get Joe Cimino's take on that, As an Andrean football player, would he be able to room with rival Crown Point right around the corner?
I was going to say, you can ask him tomorrow. He's going to be in producing.
Tom Dabberton tomorrow, right?
I don't know. I was going to ask you who's coming in to host tomorrow.
Well, that's your job.
Yes.
That's your job.
Okay. Well, let me confirm. Let me confirm.
I have.
I didn't know if you were still coming.
I have
Fridays,
some business to attend to tomorrow, so I'll see what happens. You got to figure that out. Gibbs said his and Novak's relationship goes back a while. They shared mutual friends before they became close to themselves. Their being roommates is a coincidence more than anything, Gibbs said, but there was no waiting around when they found out. I got a text that said, "Your roommate is Ben," Gibbs said through chuckles. I immediately hit him up and started talking to him about it. This is a good news story. Ben Novak and Trevor Gibbs going to IU. They didn't leave the state like they would have gone to Michigan or Wisconsin. They're both that highly sought after, and this is good. And, of course, we will have the Indiana-Ohio State game on the radio here on Saturday on WJOB. Huge listenership for all of our many sponsors. And, of course, we are even more behind IU now that Novak and Gibbs are going. All right, we got one more thing we got to hit, and that is Cal College came up with a huge groundbreaking, and this is kind of big news they've been waiting for. Everyone huddled around puffy coats and so forth yesterday for the next wave of Cal College expansion. The college is, of course, in the former Standard Oil Research Lab right off the Lost Marsh Golf Course there in Whiting. It has a Whiting address, but I think it's actually in Hammond. But they held a groundbreaking ceremony on their new athletic field and fitness and what they call a Flora Park. It's the next major project funded by the college's Campus and Community Collaboration Initiative, Lilly Endowment Grant. So CCSJ, of course, you hear their games or watch their games on the Heartland Sports Network, especially their sprint football. They won the Midwest with their sprint football. They've got 85 people on the team, and it has to be, I think, under 190 pounds. They've been wildly successful in A, recruiting athletes, and B, in winning games. So that another Novak is the reason for that success, mostly. He's the leader, but he's got a full 10-person. Here it is. Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott said it would be a fantastic new intramural sports facility, and the city was lucky to be home to two great institutions of higher learning. Calumet College is unique in that many of its athletics often take place in our neighboring city of Whiting. It's truly a college embraced by two close-knit communities. Both Hammond and Whiting are proud to support the college's growth. This new outdoor facility is part of a broader renaissance of the college. They recently opened a new dorm that's already thriving. These kinds of enhancements make Cal College even more appealing. Adriana, they're, I would say, about halfway done with the Calumet dorm on the PNW campus also, which means that there's going to be a lot more college students housed here at both Cal College and PNW.
Yep.
And that means kind of changes the nature of Hammond a little bit. Slightly a college town. I mean, there's already 2 major dorms on the PNW campus. Now you get a third. Now you got a dorm at Cal College.
I was going to say, I got to ask my friend that goes to Cal College because he went to PNW, but then he transferred over to Cal College. I think he got a bowling scholarship. And I want to ask him, like, how are the dormitories over there? 'Cause I didn't even know Cal College had dormitories.
So, yeah, I mean, I didn't either until recently, and I saw the chancellor, and we talked about it. And this new athletic field, which I think is going to include a football field, maybe not. I don't know, but I think so too. It's a big addition to a kind of a smallish Catholic university. But if you really think about it, Cal College is in the perfect place for this to proliferate, in that you have kind of a walking community. You could go into Whiting, you can come into Hammond. There's plenty of land. Where they're going to put that Flora Park is actually on the edge of what is known as Dedelow Parkway, and between Dedelow Parkway and the Lost Marsh Golf Course, there's a whole bunch of kind of wasteland for a while, and they're going to be using some of that for the new fields. It's great news. I mean, it's actually great news on both campuses. Here at PNW, I had somebody telling me all about the dorms and some of the new things they're going to have in it that are make it more efficient. But they attract people from all over to live in these dorms over here. And now you're attracting people all over to live in the dorms in Cal College. It really does change the nature. And I'll be honest with you, Adrian, it gives us more people to choose from to work here for kind of lower wages for the experience that they get. And that's what we do, is we bring in, it still is I mean, if you think about 3 people at the Big Ten and 1 at Barstool right now, that sounds really cool until you realize Rob Aguirre is supposed to be our Porter County Conference guy because he's living in Hobart or Portage, and then now all of a sudden he's not there. But you don't live in the dorms.
I do.
You do? Mm-hmm. I thought you lived at home.
No, I live in the dorms. I got a lot of scholarship money that is tuition-based. Well, Hammond Bound pays my tuition, so that money was just kind of sitting there. And I asked, can I use that for something else? They said, no, it's only tuition-based. It's for tuition and if it carries over, housing. My parents were like, do you want the college experience? Do you want to go live in the dorms? And I was like, sure, let's go.
What's that like?
I love it. I honestly, it's so much fun. I love living with my friends, and then to be able to walk from the classes I need to go to. When I was doing cheer at PNW, it was really great because I just walked straight there, and I didn't have to go back and forth. And if I was in between classes and practice and then having to go present something, I was able to just do everything I needed to do right there at the dorms. So I love it a lot. I love the friends that I've met there, the experiences I've had. So overall, I'm very happy I chose to do that and that I was able to have the scholarship money to do it.
So if you really think about it, I mean, I work out over here all the time at maybe 5 times a week at the Y. There are students there all the time.
There's a lot of PNW students that work there.
Work there and working out. And a lot of them are from that sprint football team. You could tell. I'm like, dude, man, I mean, how do people get that chiseled? Oh, well, I play sprint football. Yeah. Oh, Coach Novak. Yeah, well, tell him he's a schmuck. And, what? Just whatever. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. But if you think about it, I mean, you have the Purdue Northwest and all the facilities here, and then you have all the facilities being built at Cal College. But kind of in the middle of that, you have the largest, nicest Y in the world, which is too crowded, obviously. I don't go during peak times because you can't go. It's just too many people there.
So the 2 hours at it is not peak time. You
I
are
know.
there at
Well,
the
I
Y.
go at 4:45 in the morning. Or
But there's so many people at 4:45 in the morning.
I agree. I'm like, what happened? It's like I
Y that was when it was over here. There was not that many people at 4:45 in the morning, and then now all of a sudden everybody's a morning riser.
So literally, I'll go there about 4:40, and I'll walk up, and there's these two older dudes that are always, hey, what's going on? You know, I'm like, all right, I'll BS with them for a minute. And then as soon as the guy comes to unlock the door of the front of the Y,
Yep.
It's like a stampede.
Yep.
I'm like, there might be 40 people getting out of cars all at the same time because they don't want to stand out there in the cold. And then you have to run in and find a locker and all that stuff. I don't know who the heck else does a morning show where they got to wake up that early? You know, I mean, they got to go to work. But anyways, you build the Y, and then right next to it, they're done or almost done with the complete revamp of that sportsplex.
What have they added in there? I keep hearing that.
I haven't gone in, but I don't want to go in, but I like to walk their track up there on
They have
days.
really nice
so
track.
if you walk at the Y, you got to see the same people. It's a smaller track.
Mm-hmm.
It's decent size. But if you go to the sportsplex, that track is massive. I don't know. I think it's almost a quarter mile, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a third of a mile. It goes all the way around the inside. I mean, Hammond has become a good place to attract students. Think about it. Cal College, PNW, and they all want to work out. And there's this little social thing where, like, people like you, Adriana, like freshmen at PNW are over there all hanging out around the tricep machine laughing.
Yeah, I found what they added. This is through Great News Life. The expansion adds 20,000 square feet of new space highlighted by brand new soccer wing, increasing capacity for both youth and adult programs. With these improvements, the Sportsplex now features 20 volleyball courts, 10 basketball courts, 4 relocated sand volleyball courts now positioned at the rear of the complex, and a state-of-the-art golf simulator, Swingers, which opens in September and is already drawing attention from golfers.
Wait a second, a golf simulator?
Yeah. So I wonder if it's going to be like the net par that's in Munster, right here by Rosebud.
You've been to net par?
I've gone because my dad loves to golf, and when it's cold outside, he can't go.
How come you don't have the camera on you?
Oh,
yeah.
Because I was trying to see what something for
all right.
PNW today.
So they're having a golf. I mean, so if you add it up, literally add it up, and you look, and you're like, all right, I'm a student. I'm in the dorms over there. I can go over there to
you can go to all these
PNW. I could work out there, which is not that nice compared to these new facilities. You could work out at the brand new Y, and then you could go over and play basketball or volleyball on all these brand new courts. Certainly the same thing for the people at Cal College. I mean, honestly.
And now you could have a golf simulator.
And we can hire all of them for when Adriana gets stolen away from us. But congratulations to a lot of people here. Stop, will you? Your show on WCPT on Sunday mornings is at what time?
It's from 8 to 10.
8 to 10 on Sunday mornings. You can listen to her.
We're live on Facebook and everything.
Yeah, and you can see her there. She already is on radio in Chicago and TV. So it's just tick-tock, tick-tock. Have we got any phone calls?
We have 3 that have been
waiting. My God, they're waiting? I'm sorry. Hey, let's take some calls. Hey, what are you doing?
Waiting for you to answer the phone.
Hey, wait a second. You got to tell this. Go ahead.
I've been listening to you for WGLB for 54 years, and I almost been waiting for 54 minutes.
I am so sorry, man.
Hey, don't worry. I woke up cranky.
All right.
Anyway,
good.
I was going to tell you, the guy I went to school with, Mr. Stadnick, that called you, about politicians.
You went to Tech?
Yeah, I went to Tech.
Really? I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why I'm so cranky.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
thank you for saying that.
I think he was like a year behind me, and that dude was one hell of an athlete, man. He could run, I wish I could run like he could run like that. Anyway.
I've run with him, too, and seen him run competitively and gone to his house in Arizona where he has a shoe supplier, like he's got a shoe contract. But here's a question for you. Is Steve Stanek, the former Hammond fireman, a better runner or a better talker?
Well, when he talks, he means business, and he meant business when he was running.
Yes.
Let me tell you, he was one hell of an athlete, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. We used to have a coach that used to run around the Civic Center like 7 times a day outside, around the block over there, Mr. Jamrose. That's how I see Mr. Stadnick now. He's in Arizona. Plus, when he was a fireman, man, the dude was healthy, man. He was one healthy dog, man. So
he married he married a younger woman, and he has to stay in shape, and she runs also, and but she runs almost as long as he'll run. But he's such an animal. She's like, yeah, we're out there. We've run like 8 miles, and everybody seems like, and then all of a sudden Steve's got to go faster and up a hill. And she's like, dude, that's enough. We got to do one more mountain, and pushes her a little bit too far sometimes. But anyways.
Yeah, so anyway, he was talking about, the politicians, with the voting and all that. I don't believe there should be any kind of phone calls for voting. I think you should vote on one day and absentee for 1 week. I used to work. I didn't run, but I worked for the city of Calumet City, and they used to have a mayor named Quackenbush. She was there forever, and plus she was the city clerk forever. So she was in politics for like 40-some years. What she used, and I backed the other lady. I backed Pam Kepp for running for mayor. So over there, they had Zuccarelli was running the township, and they had these senior citizen buses. Well, they have a lot of senior citizen homes in Calumet City. So what they would do on election day, they would pick up these people, or even if they were voting early, because you could vote early for like 3 months, I think, in Illinois. And so they would pick them up, and they would take them to Tom's Restaurant on Burnham Avenue, who the guy that owns Tom's is a Hammond Tech alumni. His name is Manopoulos. He ran that was his restaurant. So all the senior citizens would go in there, eat for free, jump on the bus that was provided by the township through the councilman or the alderman from Calumet City. And then the lady that was driving the bus was wearing Michelle Quackenbush colors, It's like, wow. You want to talk about shenanigans. That was bad.
Are you surprised? Come on.
Well,
all right, which one
when
was?
Does it end? And then they wonder why the Democrats keep winning all the time. It's like, hello, and they're gerrymandering. The Republicans are gerrymandering. They've been doing that for years in Illinois. Nobody says nothing. Nobody says nothing. 80% of the news media is for the Democrats, and then the Republicans decide, they want to gerrymander. Oh, that's so bad. Hypocrites. Hey, I want to ask you another question. You're a pretty good athlete over there at Mustang Ranch over there.
Not anymore, but go ahead.
No, but back in the day, I heard you got your picture on the wall.
Hey, man, every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so I played a number of sports, yeah.
So you got like were you all conference, all region?
Yeah, a couple times. But
I was too.
Yeah, it just kind of, I think what athletics did was more than anything else, it exposed me for a lot of good people. And I have to bring that up because one of them died this week, and his name was Steve Robleski. He was a football coach, and he was a math teacher. And he was one of the biggest characters ever in the region. And I haven't really talked about it because I don't know how to handle it. But I think I've said before, it's kind of difficult for me to comprehend a world in which there's no John Friend and there's no Steve Robleski. That's what athletics did. I created a bond with leaders, put it that way.
I remember John Friend. I remember him because I would have got out of I didn't graduate on time. Because, like, when I played ball, I was all conference my junior year. My senior year, I was all state, first team EPI. and I was never. And everybody goes, "How come you're not in the Hammond Hall of Fame?" I said, "I think one of the major, one of the reasons that they put you in there is that you got to graduate on time. You don't graduate on time, they're not going to put you in there just for an athlete." Because all my coaches used to tell me, because I didn't have a dad when I was growing up, and my mother, well, I won't talk about her, but you got to understand something. If they didn't have sports in school, I never would have went to school, never. But I had to keep my grades up in order to wrestle. When I wrestled for Addison, I was a city champ. We were undefeated. We were undefeated in football. Sports was really something, and I, I'm pushing 70 now. Can you get me to cry? And sports was my thing, man. I mean, I love sports, and if it wasn't for the coaches, they tried to help me. They said, "Rick, you're a student first, and you're an athlete second." Okay, but I didn't have a dad, to put his foot in my backside, and so I relied on the coaches. So any of these kids listening, keep your grades up, and then you can play the sports and listen to your coaches, and do the right thing.
So wait a second, you're not in the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame?
No. Well, you got to get nominated. I guess nobody likes me in Hammond.
Where do you live now? Are you still in LaPorte?
Yeah, I'm in LaPorte County, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go get a drink.
Ago.
I'm going to go get a drink and see your daughter. And
don't talk to her about that.
Why?
You got other things. I don't want to be in the Hammond Hall of Fame. I don't.
Well, it's not your. Well, here's how this works. Okay.
If I do, I'll put me in there when I die. I don't want to know about it.
Stop. I'm going to go talk to your daughter and see how this would progress. But there's two things. I think I know who you are. Okay. Were you there when Brian Banks was on the basketball team? Is that a different time?
Well, I would have got out in 75.
Yeah. All right. So you were on 1974 UPI All-State. Okay. I get it. And so in football, and there's two things that should be honored. And then the second thing is they're kind of running out of people to nominate and be in the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame.
Well,
all right, we got to go. I'll take care of this. All right, I'll talk to you. Bye. All right, one more phone call, then we got PNW today. Hey, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello, is Jed there?
Is Jed there? Hey, Jed, you still got that bagel in the corner of your lip.
No, I don't.
Adrian's looking right. Yes, you do. Adrian's looking right at you, unless that's a pimple.
You know what that is, dude? That is gray hair in my goatee. Do I still got – hold on a second. Adriana, do I have any bagel on my face? I don't think so. I know that I did, and I was able to –
I don't think so.
Yeah, all right, thank you. She wouldn't lie to me.
I mean, you took the break and you came back, and I'm looking at you right now, and it's still there. But besides that, is Kuziak going to come on the air to announce that he's not going to have this food drive next week?
Yeah, you know what? I think what happened is there's so many food drives that they've kind of pushed it back, and they want to do one maybe probably February when there isn't a food drives going on. So, yeah, I think they moved that one back. So it's going to happen, though. And Kuziak's not done, believe me. He'll be back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I know Dapperton's on tomorrow, and as far as shows, Dapperton's got the number one show. I mean, he gets non-stop calls. He's very respectful. He lets people talk, and then maybe pull in. And as far as the Tuesday show, she's lucky. She's lucky if she gets 5 calls. And also, Adriana, I got the over of 20 giggles on your show today. Bye.
Uh-oh. He insulted both you and me.
I don't know how that was an insult.
He said you're a giggler, basically.
Okay, I'm a happy person. How is that an insult?
I'm not saying
I think that's
it's
a compliment.
Insult, but
I think that's a compliment. Thank you.
Do you think that was?
Do
you think he intended it as a compliment?
No, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. That just means
what?
I'm a happy person.
You took that perfectly. Exactly. I would have just made fun of the guy and done some sort of sardonic comment. But you took it perfectly.
Yeah. I'm going to keep laughing. I'm going to keep trying to be happy. That's all we can do.
maybe he doesn't like Bishop Noel.
That's okay.
All right, are we done?
All right,
we got to
do one more caller. This person's been waiting.
All right, yeah, go ahead. Hele
Good morning.
Maranieszki Fapamarana.
I didn't hear Tom mention it or say anybody say anything, but I thought I heard that the pierogi drop's going to be moved this year.
I did not hear that.
Well, Tony Panic, they're going to have him climb down the WJOB tower at midnight. They're going to light up Mr. Pierogi Tony, and he's going to climb down the WJOB tower for pierogi drop.
All right, first of all, I'm looking at pierogidrop.com. It says a pierogi drop.
Oh, they're having it.
Yeah.
I was just playing a joke,
All right,
but
you're playing a joke. We're not going up on that tower unless we have to. And we do have to every couple of years do one thing or another. But it's so high, man. Do you know that when I worked here, I probably shouldn't say this, but when I worked here in the mid-'80s, there was a news woman that she and I hung out with, and we were working late, so we went down to the Old Glory here for a while, and then we came back and finished our shift at like 10:30 at night. And I went out there and I climbed about just maybe a less than 20% up. Do you realize how freaking high that thing is?
Oh, I know. I took my drone up to the tippy top, and done a whole bunch of shots. I know.
And I appreciate that. All right, Mike, we got to go.
Hey,
PNW is waiting.
Yeah, but that'd be a good idea to maybe have a WJOB midnight drop with. Well, you light it up. You climb down the tower.
I'll just climb up there and I'll do it. How's that? On a winter day at nighttime, I'll climb up there. All right.
Well, everybody stay warm. Have a safe day.
All right. We got absolutely nothing accomplished today. Other than
we entertain people. That is an accomplishment.
But I'll tell you what, they're going to get plenty accomplished here in just 3 minutes, as PNW Today is coming in for their show. And I'm going to get out of here, and they're going to take over. I'll be back at 9, 9:40, and 10:20 with.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait, what are you saying?
I have a 9 o'clock, a 9:40, and a 10:20. Mm-hmm. And Adriana is going to have to finish her final while Purdue Northwest is going on, and she's going to go take it over to PNW. And I am actually going to produce a little bit of my own podcasts. But I'll be back live, don't worry, on the Voice and Face of the Region.